speakers. So if I could have everyone's attention, please. I know you're enjoying your drinks and milling about and conversing, but there'll be more time for that after our evening speakers have addressed you. Am I not talking loud enough? Okay, if I could have everyone's attention, please. Put a pause on your conversations, and you can continue them after our speakers for the evening reception have addressed you. This evening we have the Treasurer of the Law Society who's going to address you. His name is Mr. Frank Marrocco, and we'll have Chief Justice Roy McMurtry address you after that, and we have a Métis Fiddler Quartet to perform. Frank?
Well, I'll tell you later. If I could have your attention, please. I want to welcome you, Elder Grafton Antone, Chief Justice McMurtry, former Attorney General Marion Boyd. The present Attorney General is on his way here, apparently, and I hope that if he arrives, and he is indeed on his way here, that he'll say a few words after the Chief Justice. Honored guests and colleagues, it's my pleasure to bring the greetings of the Law Society to you today. This is the 7th annual National Aboriginal Day celebration. It's hosted by the Law Society and along with our community partners, the Toronto Aboriginal City Celebration Committee, Aboriginal Legal Services of Toronto, Lodi Odatyets, Aboriginal Advisory Group, the Ontario Justice Education Network, the Aboriginal Law Section of the Ontario Bar Association, and the Association for Native Development in the Performing and Visual Arts. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our partners for their contributions. We hope we've been able to create a program that you found informative and helpful. And I also want to thank them on behalf of the Law Society for helping us as an institution to reach out to the community, or one of the communities in the community in which we live, so that we can better be of service to the community that is our responsibility. And we're trying to live up to it. I would like to thank Elder Antone for presenting us with his opening prayer and setting the positive tone for this event, even if some of the messages associated with Bill C-31 were not positive. I would like to thank and acknowledge the panelists for today's discussions. Some of them traveled a great distance to be here and to join us, and I would like to thank them for sharing their perspectives and experiences with respect to the effects of Bill C-31. The Law Society and the administration of justice not always interacted well with First Nations peoples, if you look throughout our history. But that is history. The people who are in positions of authority today have a much different attitude. And while the fact that they have a different attitude doesn't change things in and of itself, it hopefully creates a climate in which we can collectively move forward to address issues that are important to your community, which is in effect part of our community. I want to thank Tracey O'Donnell, my colleague and a bencher, a member of the Lake Helen First Nation, for being here. She is an important part of our commitment, and I want to thank her for joining us today on the panel and chairing the panel. She is a member of the Equity and Aboriginal Issues Committee, a standing committee of convocation that's chaired by my colleague Joanne St. Louis. Tracey is also the chair of the Aboriginal Working Group, a group of almost 30 Aboriginal articling students and lawyers from around Ontario. This group is developing proposals for the Law Society on issues that are of importance to the Aboriginal community and to the Aboriginal legal community, especially in Aboriginal legal community in Ontario. I also want to thank Marisha Roman, who is our Aboriginal Issues Coordinator and a member of the Equity Initiatives Department, the department that organized today's events. Marisha focuses on maintaining and developing relationships with the Aboriginal community, and the participation of our community partners here today demonstrates her ongoing work. She also works directly with Aboriginal Bar Admission Course students and members as part of our effort to create an environment in which persons who have the ability to join our profession from the Aboriginal community will be encouraged to stick with it and make their contribution. And as part of that effort, our effort to interact better with the Aboriginal community, we will be undertaking a provincial-wide consultation with the Aboriginal Bar in the summer. The Law Society hopes that today's event was a success and is a positive indicator of our commitment. I'd like to now call upon someone who needs no introduction by me or anyone else, the Chief Justice of Ontario, whose commitment in this area is well known from the time that he was the Attorney General in a previous life of this province. I'd like to call upon Chief Justice Roy McMurtry.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Treasurer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, delighted to have the opportunity to have been invited to bring greetings on behalf of the judges of Ontario to this important 2005 celebration of National Aboriginal Day. I'm very much aware, as are my judicial colleagues, that the Canadian legal system continues to face tremendous challenges responding adequately to the needs and challenges faced by our Aboriginal communities. The creation of a National Aboriginal Day by the Law Society of Upper Canada is therefore a very important, and its partners is, of course, a very important contribution to the raising of the awareness of important Aboriginal justice issues within the justice community. The Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples explained that Aboriginal peoples are not minorities nor biologically determined races, but historic peoples comprised of freely constituted communities. Treaties are historic evidence of the recognition of these distinct political communities. Negotiations with political representatives about the rights of the group should necessarily must reflect an appreciation of the collective and political nature of the rights of the Aboriginal peoples. Unfortunately, in Canada, the record of respecting people's rights, Aboriginal people's rights, both the treaties and the customary laws that are given effect by constitutional principles, were in fact long ignored by Canadian courts and governments. And this has naturally had a very negative effect on the confidence and support of Aboriginal people in the capacity of the courts and the governments of Canada to reflect their collective interests. However, with the constitutional recognition and affirmation of the existing Aboriginal and treaty rights, the courts will continue to play an important role in the determination of the future interpretation of law and politics. And it is therefore essential that all of our judges not just in Ontario, but of course throughout Canada, that all of our judges be sensitive to the complex and often negative history with respect to the relationship between our Aboriginal founding peoples and the governments of Canada. In recent years, I've had the pleasure of giving keynote addresses at the Indigenous Bar Association conferences. And I am very much impressed with the significant growth in the numbers of talented lawyers from our Aboriginal communities. And a few minutes ago, during the panel discussion, I know one of the guests asked a question about this very issue, and while no numbers were given, it's been my impression that it has been a very dramatic increase, a very impressive increase, which is so important to our country. And as I conclude, I'd like to state my very strong belief that the courts of Ontario will become stronger and more inclusive institutions as the Aboriginal membership increases. Now, a very happy and important event was the relatively recent appointment of Justice Harry Laforme to the Court of Appeal for Ontario. And as most of you know, Harry is a great role model and does us all proud. I would like to conclude by wishing everyone here a very happy evening and every success and fulfillment in the days, months ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our last speakers for coming here tonight to address the reception. The event here today has been called the National Aboriginal Day, and that's the event that we're celebrating. But National Day of Celebration for Aboriginal Peoples in Canada actually occurs on June 21st, not today's date. June 21st is summer solstice, so it's a significant day. It's the first day of summer. It's the longest day of the year. And given our dependence upon and reverence for nature, June 21st, with its summer and warmth and fullness of the growing season, is the logical day for us to celebrate National Aboriginal Day. Tonight and today you've heard some comments from individuals about the experience and the legacy of Bill C-31 and its effects on our communities. Not all the comments and the discussion was very positive, but there is a lot of positive things to celebrate within our Aboriginal communities. We heard mention tonight of the increasing number of Aboriginal professionals who are joining the legal profession. That's a very small and almost insignificant, but it is an important development in our communities and something that is positive. We also have a number of initiatives that are underway in our communities with negotiations, and we heard those spoken of as well. So this really is a day of celebration. June 21st is about celebrating all Aboriginal peoples, the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit. If you could trace a line across this country, from city to reserve to remote settlement, you would see a thread that connects all Aboriginal people. June 21st provides all of Canada a day to see that thread that rests within the fabric of our country and consider and admire the depth and richness of the colors of our people. It's not there just for one day, but there all year. We only celebrate it and acknowledge it on one day. This evening we have some entertainment for you. We have the Métis Fiddler Quartet who's going to perform. I invite you to stay and join in. Step dance if you feel the urge. The floor's been cleared for you, so you've got lots of room. There's also outside, we have the art exhibit that I mentioned to you. Zoe Wood-Solomon has 7 pieces of work called The Teachings of the Seven Grandmothers. Outside this door here, there's a video playing called Gathering Knowledge. It's a production of the organization called Monague, the Barrie Area Native Advisory Council, and that video production is there for viewing just outside this door here. And here we have our, 1 minute. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one more speaker. Excuse me.
I didn't mean, before we start the entertainment, we've been advised that the Attorney General is here. I don't see him, so he is here, not in spirit, but they meant in reality. And so I thought that what we should do before we commence the entertainment was ask the Attorney General to speak. There were some developments yesterday with respect to the government's policy with respect to Aboriginal people, and it probably is productive for us to hear from him. That's assuming what I was told is correct. So maybe we could just hold on for a minute before we start the entertainment. I think he's just doing this so he can make an even more dramatic entrance. Oh, there he is. Mr. Attorney, if I can have your attention for a few minutes. I'd like to, as I said to you before we commence the entertainment for this evening, we're very, very fortunate to have with us the Attorney General for Ontario, who of course carries the province's responsibilities with respect to Aboriginal people and people of the First Nations. And the Attorney General he's I'm sure well known to many of you here, and so I'd like to call upon the Honourable Michael Bryant, the Attorney General for Ontario, to speak for as long as he wants to speak.
Roberta Jameson wasn't able to be here today, so I'm the substitute speaker. Your consolation prize for the day. I'm not going to be able to compete with Roberta, and I'm not going to actually speak for as long as I want because we'd like to get on with the entertainment. I just wanted to be here to celebrate this important event, and there's no coincidence that the timing of the release of our government's new approach to Aboriginal affairs was launched this week. It is based on some very, very old ideas and some very, very new ideas. And the gist of it is to entrench a relationship between our First Peoples and the Government of Ontario by allowing for bilateral and trilateral meetings on a regular basis that will permit the Aboriginal leadership for Ontario to say to the government of the day, we want to sit down at the next meeting and make healthcare the number 1 item, and education the number 2 item, the tobacco strategy the number 3 item, and economic development the number 4 item. And we will produce the health minister, the education minister, the minister of economic affairs, and I will try and not have happen what has happened in recent years, which is an initiative comes forward and the minister gets called and the answer is something like this: so go talk to the federal government or go talk to another ministry or that ministry. We want to forge a relationship and entrench a relationship that is built upon respect, mutual respect, to work with First Nations leadership, with Métis leadership, with Inuit, and also with Aboriginal service providers in a way that will permit us to continually be talking and meeting the same agendas as this government does not believe that the way to address Aboriginal issues is to tell Aboriginal people, here's how we're going to do it. Instead, we're going to work together. So it's hear, hear. So I'm also heading to Ottawa on Friday to meet with Aboriginal leadership and also with the federal minister, and we are going to be engaging in, for the first time in a long time, tripartite talks about the major issues, interjurisdictional issues facing Aboriginal people in Ontario. Before I actually ever came to Ontario, I dedicated a little chunk of my life to studying Aboriginal rights in universities, and for a very small chunk of my life, working on Aboriginal rights litigation in Vancouver. And for a time, I always thought that's what I would end up doing, that I would devote my life to that. Other things have happened, as you can see. But I now have an opportunity, and this government has an opportunity, to fulfill the honor of the Crown and to fulfill commitments made a long time ago in a very profound and meaningful way. So a couple of weeks ago, we settled and had a signing ceremony in Rainy River First Nations. It was the largest land claim settlement in the history of Ontario. And as a result of that, as I looked across the room at some very, very young children and some infants, some of whom were startled by the entertainment that they had, the sacred drums, I thought, what an entirely new future for that young child than that child's father and grandfather and great-grandfather before that had had. So the future is bright. We have a means by which we're going to work together through this new relationship. Very proud of this new approach, and I look forward to delivering real results between now and 2007 and thereafter. So thank you for being here. I'll hand the microphone back to our treasurer. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be your Minister of Aboriginal Affairs. Let's get on with the show. Thank you.
Thank
New
you,
treasurer.
Mr. Bryant. Not the treasurer, and I'm not after his job. But I did want to thank the treasurer and Mr. Bryant for coming here today. And, we'll be watching for those new positive developments as well. And, maybe we'll be here in 20 years' time talking about the effects of this new relationship and the positive changes that results in. I invite you to stay as well for the entertainment. We have, as I said earlier, the Métis Fiddler Quartet, featuring National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation Scholarship recipient Alyssa Delbert-Sawchuk and her family to perform. After their performance and to close the evening out, we'll have Elder Grafton Antone do a closing prayer for us.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name's Alyssa, as she said earlier. This is Danton, he's the youngest, he's on the cello. Then Nicholas is the next eldest, and then Conlon on guitar is the eldest brother. So we've got a couple tunes for you for tonight. The first two are Soldier's Joy, and the second set of tunes is a quadrille set, starting with Lady Do-si-do, William Mousseau's Reel, and Smothered in Smoke.
All right, the next tune we're going to play has little historical significance. It's actually the Sousa Austro-Hungarian march written in like the 1920s by this guy named Sousa. You know the sousaphone, that big, like, so bigger than a anyway, some Métis settlers heard this in the 30s on the radio, and they picked up the tune, they turned it around, and Métisanized it, or sort of did a Métis style version of it. So they turned it around, turned the B section into the A section, and well, here, check it out.
It's called the Flying Eagle or the Dying Eagle sometimes.
It all depends on the performance. Let's sort. Sorry, let me restart that.
The next couple tunes we have for you are animal influenced. The first one's called White-tailed Deer, and the second one's called Migrating Canadian Geese. think we got enough space for a dance floor. Anybody willing to waltz? The next piece we have for you is called Waltz Quadrille. Sorry, we're having tuning problems. All the humidity and stuff has this effect on the instrument, so you just go, wah! So, the next piece we have for you is called, it's an A set. It's in key of A. We actually have to tune up the fiddles, and we're going to end the show with the Red River Jig. And if you want to clap your hands, that's also accepted. much, everyone. If you like what you heard today, we're going to be playing at the Métis Arts Festival at Black Creek Pioneer Village in July. I believe it's the 23rd and 24th. Anyways, there's some pamphlets outside, so hope to see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the performance, and thank you too for those who participated by dancing. We're going to close this evening off with a prayer, and Grafton Antone is going to do that prayer for us.
Kadibiga kaiga ni hawi ale tunuwa chukot kat tu se galu nya gen gwa des raskat kadibiga yan tekat ne ladu jinu yan ne nakte kaiga na awani kaiga wahnis lade kaiga ngwe huwe ne lau di luak kaiga ne laji kontrol ni gwa ja jinu no kaiga wahnis lade ne kadibiga kaiga ona chi tekat ne ladu ne nếu thì vì ông quạt số họ nên nhiều anh để nạp tiền yo để sẽ nếu cái vị cái yêu cả cha đúng cái ikan nếu cái ikan Oscar ông quạt cái zon qua Oscar nên oneta nếu cái ikan cái zon izin qua oneta dengan cái etagin o yung qua unwe nên tigan yoduni nếu cái vị cái daripada heladu ji yung sungguh yudiode sungguh yung kiat again has sungguh yuki nunggu lagit squas ne kadi wi ka iga nyoyan le nahte nu wa yung li wahton di kale ji ka yang konto raye ni go kadi lungdah kwe ne wa ju kip tal ha se ne wa tadili wahte de nahte ai aundun ai vano tunyungun nen aundun ai tiat again ha jikayan de honat lao nen lo dinyagu nen jikayan lo ne hewi au za ho dikwan tigan anate ungwe huwe nate nen ji. I give thanksgiving today for this beautiful day. I give thanksgiving for the medicines that have brought us and had us able to work in a good way here in this ceremonial day, which we have been called together to celebrate the National Aboriginal Day, and I'm moved to be a part of this ceremonies today. And the medicines that I have here, and I give thanks for those who had the beautiful vision to have the medicines here, and the cedar. We have 4 witnesses, the 4 cedar trees, and everything that was said here today, the cedar will always remember. So don't forget. And then we have this other medicine here, which is the sage. The sage, which is growing here, and it will be good soon. And over on the other side, we have the tobacco plant just down there, and these are the three sacred medicines that our people have, and sweetgrass being the other one. And if it were possible, we would be out in a bush where there could be a lot of sweetgrass in our midst. And so walk gently where you are, because the sweetgrass is always under our feet, and that's why we need to exercise our wind. The wind that makes us go. We need to exercise our wind in a good, gentle way with each other. And when time comes, there's something about the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun every day, and it's in Creator's time. In Creator's time, it's always now. It's always now. It's never yesterday or tomorrow. In Creator's time, it's now. So as we work together now, we have been gathered together by these stories. And it is these stories that we're thankful for the story carriers. We need these kinds of people to carry our messages. And we will raise up those words in the smoke of the medicines that we burn, and they will be heard. Creator will answer. Creator knows our needs, and He will listen in a good way. And if this good way is that He gives you a peace in the heart and a peace in the thinking, then that's the message that's for you. And for those who have to strive on, you have a message too. We give all these thanksgivings to Creator, and we raise it up. We thank the Creator for the messengers who came, and especially for the singers and the musicians that came and gave us some good bird music. Because when I hear those, I think it's birds. They sing. They have this beautiful way. And for the artists who have captured and stilled our teachings in the art, we're thankful for that. And so for those of you who have come from all over, we're thankful. And for those of you who are convocating, we're really glad for you, and we're behind you, and we want you to do the best you can in serving our people, serving your people, one of us. And it's through that hard work. Nothing will be easy, but at the end of the day, at the end of when you go back to Creator's land, it'll be a road strewn with flowers. Yamako, miigwech.
Thank you. There's hot food here. Please stay and enjoy refreshments and some food and each other's company. Thank you again for coming to today's event and making it such a success. Miigwech.